Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. This is Diane Covington calling you from Northern California. So I had an experience this last week that I think might really have a positive impact on you. So I thank you in advance for taking a few minutes to listen to this message. I have a customer. She's bought product from me for probably 9 months. She's probably, I want to say, late 60s. She's a full-time veterinarian. And I got her as a referral. I don't know, somehow she tracked me down 6 months ago or a year ago and needed satin hair from her sister. Her sister spent $300, so on and so forth. So she works, this gal who's a veterinarian, also does a direct selling business on the side. It has nothing to do with skincare and makeup, but I don't want to tell you the name of the company because I don't want to, tarnish them. But she reached out to me in June and said, Diane, I need to hold one party in July. She does it super, super part-time. And I don't know exactly what the requirements are for her company. I think they have to spend like $8,000 a couple times a year on stuff. Anyway, so she said, I need to know if you could book a party for me. And it was toward the end of June. And I said, here's the deal. I can do it in July. I just can't do it in June. I'm slammed. I've got some health issues. I'm finishing goals, blah, blah, blah. She said, okay, great. I'll call you back in July. And she did. So she called me back right after the 4th of July and said, let's pick a date. Now, I'm thinking of my friends. Most of them are not going to spend a lot of money on the stuff that she sells. And I didn't want to give her false pretenses. So, make a long story short, I said yes. We picked a date. It was the only day we could do because she goes, I'm leaving on this trip and the party has to be held before this date because I'm closing out my quarter or my month or whatever. I don't know, however their company works. That's okay, so we're going to do it on this Sunday. So she says to me, what's your email address, and I'll send you everything you need to have a successful party. I said, okay, fine. And in the meantime, I'm thinking, oh, my God, who am I going to get over to my house to do this? Okay, a day goes by. I don't see an email, and I'm busy. I mean, I got medical stuff going on, and my Mary Kay, and, just like all of you, a lot of stuff going on, right? So days go by. 2 days go by. 3 days go by. I still don't see an email from her, and I get so busy, I honestly forget about it, that I'm having all these people come over, and this was like 2 weeks ago. So finally, I believe I sent her a text. It was probably 4 days after we talked, and I said, hey, can you send me something that I can, this is literally what I said in the text, can you send me something that I can send out to invite people to come over? And she said, I sent you an email several days ago, and I said, I never got it. And she's like, that's weird, text me your email address. I did, and she said, oh, there was a typo in the way I entered it. I spelled your name wrong, or whatever. She said, I spelled your email wrong. I resent it to you now. So now we're like 5 days from the day I booked it. She's now, because I texted her, so there's zero follow-up on her end. So I go to log in, it won't let me in. It's got some secret password in some portal or something, and it won't let me in. So then she calls her corporate thing and finds out that her first name is the password to get in. So once we do that, I still can't figure out how to find an invitation. She didn't offer to walk me through anything. So to make a long story short, I know I've said that 3 times, I went ahead and came up with my own text. Then I went on YouTube and typed in the name of her company and summer 2025, and it gave me a 1.5-minute teaser video of some new stuff that they have out. And I took that and I texted her and I said, hey, can I use this in my invitation? She said, oh, cool video. Where did you find that? And I said, on YouTube. And she's like, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so I'm sending this text out to my friends and getting responses. The point of this conversation is I wish, being on the hostess's end of it, I wish she had followed up within 24 hours of saying, I'll send you everything by email, and you can go in there and find it. I wish she'd either said, can we jump on Zoom and I'll show you where this is? It'll take 2 minutes, or said on the phone, grab your email, open it up, click on this link, let me walk you through it. Did she offer to do that? No. She didn't even check in with me to see if I ever got the email. Did she give me a sample invitation? No. Did she give me a video or anything I could send out? No. And now she's not even asking me for a guest list. She just says, I can't wait to see you on Sunday, assuming I'm just going to have people here, whether I have 1 person, 10 people, whatever. And it just made me realize how important it is that we coach our hostesses. You know, Mary Kay used to tell us, she literally would say this, a party worth booking is a party worth coaching. Nothing breaks my heart. And the reason I bring this up to you is that this last week, I have 2 consultants that are relatively new that said to me, I drove across town. I said, how was your party last night? She was like, I drove across town and nobody answered. And I said, really? Because that doesn't happen that often. And I said, well, did the hostess sound excited? She goes, well, I haven't been able to reach her for a week. I said, did you ever get her guest list? She said, no, she already told me that it was going to be her daughter and her sister, so no, I just came. And so I said to the consultant, I said, okay, let's talk about how we could do this possibly differently. She probably maybe would have just no-showed anyway, but if I'm driving a distance and I don't hear from the hostess, and I do several attempts by text, by phone calls, especially if I'm driving more than, let's say, 30, 45 minutes, I will text them and call them and text them and call them once or twice a day, like 2 days before, two nights before, the morning before, whatever, and just say, I haven't heard from you, so I'm assuming an emergency or something has come up. Should we reschedule? If she doesn't even respond to that text, then I leave her a message saying that I want to reschedule it. And I know that doesn't happen very often, but getting the guest list is key. So what I do, there's 3 really simple steps. The second a woman says to me, yes, I'm excited, I'd love to have a makeover with you, or I meet her at a bridal fair or a booth event or in the post office, whatever. And I said, oh my gosh, I would love to pamper you with a spa session, or I'd love to enter you in our makeover contest. And as soon as she says yes, her favorite topic is what? Her. So the number one thing is get her to say yes, or not get her, but have her say yes. Once she says yes, step 2 is it's all about her and her skin. Oh my gosh, Angela, tell me all about your skin. And then she'll tell you. And then you keep asking more questions. What is your nighttime routine like? Like pre-profile her so that she's excited. And then I say to her, because I want to turn it into a party, Angela, when I get together with you, I find women have so much more fun when they have anywhere from 1 to 4 of your friends. Now, I would love to gift you a $15 gift certificate for getting together, but I'd love to supersize it and triple it when you can have at least 3 people join you. Does that sound like fun? And usually they'll say, oh my gosh, yes, I'll totally do that, because she's thinking you're going to triple my gift certificate from 15 instead of going to 30 and go to 45. Yeah, she brings me 3 people. I'll give her $45 of free product, or whatever you want to do, 100 at half off or whatever. So the point of all of this is just this. The second I get on the phone and the woman from the event or that I met in the post office or facial box, whatever, says yes, I find out about her skin, and then I turn it into a party. This is the last point I'm going to give you, but this is probably the most key. When they say to you, because I'd say probably 85 to 90% will say to you, well, let me check with my friends. This is the other comment I had with my consultant. I said, how are you doing with all your leads from the event? She said, well, I got a hold of 6 women, which is great odds. And I said, congratulations. And I said, so when do you have stuff booked? And she says, well, they're all going to get back to me. So I already know they all said what most women say, which is like, let me check with my friends and I'll get back to you and let you know when we can get together. And it'll honestly probably not happen. It might, but not as likely. So instead, when they say that, if Angela said that to me, I'm just making that name up, obviously. If Angela said to me, well, Diane, let me check with my friends and I'll get back to you, I'd say, well, Angela, here's my concern, or here's my thought. If you check with your friends, the very first thing they're going to say is, when is it? When do you want to get together? Because getting women together is like herding cats. And they laugh, right? So once she tells me, once she says that objection, then I say to her, getting women together is like herding cats. I have an idea. If you and your friends all talked and you guys decide you want to get together a week from Friday, I've already got a skincare party that night. Or I'm already booked, is what I'll usually say. Whether it's personal or Mary Kay. And I'll say, and then we're back to the drawing board. So why don't we do this, Angela? Let's set a tentative date. I mean, I cannot believe I'm using this. This is so old school Mary Kay. Let's set a tentative date, and I'll make you a really quick invite, and I'll send you a sample text to send out with it. Send it out to your 12 BFFs. What I will tell you, a third of the women you invite will be able to make the day we pick. So if you want to have 4 people there, I suggest you send it to 12. If you want to have 5 people there, send it to 15. And out of the 15, some aren't even going to open it, but you will end up usually having 5 people that say yes. Now, why do I say all that to her? Because one is it lets her know that not everyone she invites can come. It's a numbers game. It's mathematical, not magical, right? And it makes it easy for her. So I send every hostess within an hour. They don't know this, but it's the same Canva thing. I created one flyer on Canva with candles and towels rolled up. It looks like a spa. I created the same flyer, and I use the same flyer, unless it's a makeup party, for every single party. So I literally go in, change the date, change the time, put her address on it if it's in person, and send it to her. So within 3 minutes, I've already sent this to her, and they're like, wow, she makes these invites fast. They don't know it's the same invite over and over and over again. So I send her the invite, and in the text it says, Angela, here's the invite for our spa session next Thursday. The next text will include the words to send out with it. So excited to see you. And I send that with the invitation, because some people don't know how to edit things on a cut and paste. So then the next text are the exact words for her to send out. And if you ever need those, just go on our Facebook page called Quantum Leap Hotline. And when you are on there, just type in there, Diane, send me the text, whatever, and I'll post them on there, some sample text. But it's usually, and this is key, is in the text. It says, hey, I'm super excited. I'm having a spa pampering, or I'm having a skincare makeup event, whatever you want to call it. And I'm super excited to invite my best friends, which is you. Please text, this is key, please text my Mary Kay consultant, Diane, or whatever your name is, and then she puts in, I put in my phone number, and to RSVP, give her your skin type, and she will make you a custom goodie bag. So when Angela sends this out, all of a sudden, within usually 24 to 48 hours, my phone starts blowing up with people saying, hey, I'm coming to Angela's spa pampering. My skin is dry. And I'd say, well, hi, dry skin. What's your first name? And like with all these laughing emojis. And they go, oh, sorry, my name is Suzanne. I go, hey, Suzanne. And then I'll say to Suzanne, of course, can I call, I have a few questions to ask you about your skin. Even if she told me about it in the text, I still want to talk to her. I don't take just the text. So I talk to, I'd say probably 95% of the people before I facial them and meet them, I've talked to them. So those are just some tips. So my hostess experience with this other company, working with this consultant, wasn't good. I just felt like I got no help. I got no invitation. I got no sample words. I got nothing. And it just led me to honestly, if she wasn't a really good customer and somebody that I'm a woman of my word, I'd cancel it and just say I'm not doing it. But that's not who I am. And so I just want to let you know this is one of the reasons why sometimes hostesses cancel, is because we haven't given them enough support in getting the party kicked off. So I hope you guys will find some of this material helpful. I hope you have a fabulous day, and thanks for listening.